One of the famous lines that you came out with was the amount of money that you do not make because you don't choose money over life.
Correct.
And it was quoted around that it was 700,000.
Correct.
Where did that figure come from? Is that for your whole practice, or was that just for you as a pediatrician?
At the time, that was for me as a pediatrician with my patient volumes. When we calculated the profit margin, you know that there's a profit for vaccines, correct? There's a profit margin for each vaccine. And so as a business owner, again, business degree, pediatricians don't have business degrees, I calculated the profit of each vaccine that I give and the profit of each vaccine that families chose not to receive on that day. $700,000 is my lost profit because I don't make everybody vaccinate in our clinic. That number has gone up with the number of providers that we have. That number has dramatically increased because we cannot get a favorable contract with our insurance companies because we don't have a high enough vaccine rate. We're now up to about $1.7 million that our clinic does not make every year, lost profit, because we aren't playing by the vaccine rules. And I love my wife with my heart, my soul. She frequently asks me, how important is this vaccine issue to you? Because I think she would really like that $1.7 million. We barely pay our bills each week or each month in the clinic. It's that important, and it is what it is. So we're going to keep going as long as we can survive as a clinic. Each month it's hit or miss, and those are the rules that we have to play by, but the kids are more important than the money.
Wow. I mean, literally, wow. Why are there not more pediatricians coming out? Surely there are other pediatricians that even at least have faith and realize they have to do the right thing. Surely there's so many that the level of bullying that we record as we go around the world it's horrific.
Well,
from pediatricians.
I believe that pediatricians don't necessarily understand all the issues involved, and I say that without judgment, right? If you don't know, it's hard to be held accountable. For sure, pediatricians who don't own their own clinics don't understand the financial ramifications of a lower vaccine rate. Physicians, including a provider at one of my previous practices, realize that if you have to talk about vaccines, you lose money. If you give the vaccines and it didn't take you any time to talk about it, you optimize your profit for you personally as a provider, but also for the organization. If you spend 10 or 15 minutes talking about a vaccine and a family chooses not to vaccinate after they have informed consent, you lose 15 minutes of your productivity for the day, and you certainly don't make the profit for the vaccine. So when physicians haven't read about vaccines, I understand it, right? We're busy, and we hope that we can just put some of these things at ease, right? If you have asthma, you need an inhaler. If you have eczema, you need a steroid. Let's just use the protocol. Let's use the algorithm. Let's provide care that we learned, and I don't judge that at all. Vaccines are different because we're making a recommendation suggesting that they're perfectly safe, and they're not, and we're hurting kids, but we won't know it or admit it unless we read. My hope is that physicians, under the pressure of parents, will stop and actually read about it. They'll read some great books that are out there. They'll actually go to peer-reviewed research and study the vaccine ingredients, as opposed to what the pharmaceutical representative hands you when they're selling you the vaccine.